My name is Isabelle Feteris. As a former top athlete and psychologist, I help people to develop a champion's mindset, so they stop putting things off and get moving to reach their goals. In powerlifting, I became one of the strongest women in the world. Throughout the entire year, people make plans for behavior change. But for all the good intentions, only a tiny fraction of us keep our resolutions. 90% of the people fail at goal setting. Many people are familiar with the feeling of knowing what they should do, but somehow not being able to. And so they fool around all the way up until the last minute, when stress and pressure forces them to get started and maybe to get it done. Or, in an even worse case scenario, they will never do it at all. There is a mismatch between knowing what you should do and actually doing it. We all have to deal with procrastination at some point in life. I used to be a pro in procrastination as well. First when it came down to taking massive action, and later when it came down to winding down and resting. I haven't always had a strong mindset myself. In fact, my mindset was a big fat 0. I struggled with a severe eating disorder and I was on the edge of death. I knew I wasn't entirely on the right track, but I convinced myself, just like everybody else, that it wasn't that bad. And I told myself I would start taking better care of myself on Monday. And that if I kept going, maybe, just maybe, it would be good enough. And for some this leads to an eating disorder, for others it leads to a burnout, but for the majority it keeps them hovering around just enough to get by. From there, I started working on my mindset. At first I barely passed, but I didn't stop there. I kept searching for ways to get a 9 or a 10 for my mindset, and I didn't stop until I reached that standard. I treat my audience like top athletes, so I don't just talk about mindset, we actually get to work. That can be a bit uncomfortable because I give them various exercises so that they have to confront resistance and push through it. Finally, they formulate at least one concrete goal. It's nice to have an inspiring and motivating lecture, but without execution, it leads to frustration.